Fuck yeah. Trauma, Illinois. What's going on, boys? Thanks for being here.
Hey, what's up? Thanks so much for having us, man. Happy New Year.
Absolutely. So this is the home studio where y'all do all your cooking, right?
That's right. Correct.
From the beginning of the band's onset, have y'all been like DIY to the core, except for everything but the shot glasses? I look at the website. I know you guys aren't making those shot glasses.
No, we're not making shot glasses. No, the DIY thing kind of it became. It wasn't originally that way. We've been to multiple studios, some in Cincinnati. We kind of found a home for a while with this guy in Cleveland named Ben Shiegel. He did some of our original recordings, like Big Thud Lover and Certain Kind of Stupid and some of those older songs.
Brocktown.
But I went to school for audio. So kind of like while I was learning the skills and crafting and starting to collect gear, that, like slowly it shifted more to me. And eventually it was like, hey, well, I think we can do this. And everyone's like, okay.
That's awesome. And so where does that break happen in the catalog?
It happens. So White House, the original White House album, like half of the songs was my final it was my college capstone. That was my university capstone. It was like the last 5 or 6 songs on White House. So everything.
Were you class of 2017?
No, 21.
Or yeah, sorry. That's
college,
right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry.
So yeah, everything beyond 21 is all us.
That's awesome. Have you ever gone through like the data to be like, what happened at that switch? Do we get more fans then? Or was it just kind of like the ramp up? You ever look at that?
No, I can't say I have.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if anything, we took a dip. Like, not really. Actually, it's the beginning of our career. Like, I mean, we would have loved to get signed by a record label and had the resources of not be independent, but like. It just kind of shaked out that we kept entering, we did a lot of contests and stuff. Like we did a lot of battle of the band stuff, and we would place usually first or second or third. And that gave us some resources to work with, like money or recording time, or maybe like the Frogtown music video, for example, that's how we were able to make that, because we won this time with this creator. Who made music videos, who was a judge at the contest. And so one thing sort of led into another, and we kept just following opportunities that we were able to get on our own. And, but we didn't really have a good solid plan. Like, I feel like we do much more now than we did. So it was kind of random. Like we would see jumps in popularity. And then we would get, dead months where nothing was really going on, and, our posts weren't doing well. And, we also weren't super active on social media like we are now. So, it was kind of just balls to the wall, just trying to make things. We also just we wanted to get a category of songs, and we didn't have that many songs. So it was hard at work, just trying to make music and get it out. Because we had so many songs that we had written. It was finding studio time was the real challenge throughout those early years without this studio.
Yeah. Well, and I went through a similar experience of going from, working in a more commercial studio to doing on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And, amidst the points of failure within a recording setup, it's just how many ways can I have an issue with a file or the mastering, all that. There's also this new conundrum of just qualifying your own work. When you are the ones that are sitting in front of their top to bottom, it's hard to take your hands off, and it's hard to kind of relearn that process. But having numbers to lean on and having kind of the ramp that y'all have in the last couple of years, there's got to be a really positive affirmation. Not only can we do this on our own, but the fans like it that we do it on our own, Yeah.
I think at a grassroots level, I noticed that, but I don't I'm not sure we've done the best job of promoting, we do all this ourselves. And so I'm not sure that I can to answer your previous question. I'm not really sure I can quantify if songs did better or worse after we stopped recording with another guy. But when I talk to people and they find out we recorded our stuff on our own, they're like, "Holy shit, that's really cool!" Like, well, or wow, it sounds good.
He's just being humble. He underestimates how good his mixes are.
Well, but he does have to be the one in front of the desk, though, and and talking about documenting it and kind of making it part of the story. It's like, well, do we want to add this other layer to the onion? Like, we're trying to make great records, but now we got to record it. Now we got to edit the recordings of that. It's like there's so many times in a day where it's like I should have made content out of that. But in terms of Cincinnati bands and trying to make an audience feel engaged online, I don't think anyone's touching what y'all have been doing over the last couple of years, because it feels playful and honest and fun, and and folks want to get involved in that. When did you make that switch?
Oh, when was that?
3 years ago?
Yeah, something like 3 years. In when was this? 22. We jumped into the Clifton house show scene. There's an incredible, and it still exists. There is an incredible scene of new bands at UC or just around the area that make it or make a splash, sort of playing these house parties and playing these frat parties. And we started doing that right after we graduated college, and we met a bunch of cool people, and we made friends with all these bands. And it kind of started by us doing skits with these other bands. We would try to promote the shows that we were all collectively doing. And so we'd make this funny content. It was oh shit, that's the best video we ever did. Let's do another one. And
we did a parody, a news sector thing.
Yeah.
Where they got up and they did the Cincinnati band news, and it was Norm Macdonald, on Saturday Night Live, doing the what is it? Can't remember.
Oh, Weekend Update.
Yeah, the Weekend Update thing. It was kind of a little parody on that, and then it's like he said, that video got a bunch of shares, and new people were seeing our stuff for the first time, that were young and our age, and not our parents' friends and stuff,
It made such a immediate difference to so many folks around the peripheral knowing what y'all were doing. Totally. And I love that you bring up the Clifton House concert scene, because there are some bands that have come out of there that, I think when most people talk about a college town kind of scene like that, especially a neighborhood, you imagine that 4 years comes and goes and the bands break up. And there's a few that have come out of that and have really started to kind of show the resilience of the projects, whether that's Saving Escape, whether it's Dead Humor. I'm sure there's plenty of other folks y'all know, but those are two that come to mind for me. And there's something that is congruent about these bands. What would you say is the biggest evolution that happened to the band playing those types of shows?
I would probably boil it down to two things. One is indescribable star power. It's you watch some of these bands and you're like, holy shit. And it's not anyone before or after them was particularly bad or you just can't put your finger on it, but you watch them and you're changed. Something in you is newly inspired and you can't quite put your finger on it.
Passion of youth.
And yeah, maybe. And I think the other thing, which is arguably more important, is just they didn't give up. They just kept going, and they maybe sacrificed good jobs, or they worked around the new, a lot of people get jobs and then they don't have time, or don't wish to put that time in anymore, right? And so that's a big reason why a lot of bands break up. But those bands, the ones that I know that are still doing it, the Dead Humors, they just still put in the time,
Yeah. The star power thing is a really odd it factor to identify at a point in time where it's the PA system is probably pretty dirty. It's everybody is eye level.
Literally.
Yeah. There's one bathroom in a house with 75 people in it, and we're running low on Busch Light, and shit's about to get really serious. Yeah. And you need to have this suspension of disbelief as somebody going from, I just walked into a frat house to, I'm at a fucking rock show, really trying to pull somebody into that. Is that something that, there's something about a drummer with a headset mic on that screams indescribable star power to me, but there's also there's time where you go away from those kind of gigs and you try to cook on what are those elements of the band that we can take there. What's it like to kind of craft that aspect of the project, to try to think of it from a viewer's perspective?
super rewarding.
Can
it's
you
really
rephrase? So I don't think I quite understood. Would you say it again?
When you see another band go up and they have that thing, and you go back from that show and you say, well, how do we get that thing? What's your process for trying to add those elements into the show?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. That's like something that what you're describing is the feeling that we got when we first came together. I think like that's what I feel like happened to me. Like from my point of view, we got together as a 3-piece, really. Like we were together for years before, and we sort of played in like a 5-piece band where we had members kind of coming and going. But then when we got really serious about the 3-piece, it was like 2017, I think, or 2018, and we got together and played just one session. It was like we felt the seeds of that in that moment of like, oh, this is like this. We have this chemistry. We have this thing that is like contagious, and it like we could bring this to an audience. And like I think that vision has been like what we've been sort of cultivating the entire time. Like even before the house show stuff almost felt like it came at a perfect time because we were cultivating this thing that we wanted to show people, but we didn't really have like the right audience to show. And then the house shows start popping up, and it's like, oh my God, this is the audience for this thing that we have. And then we go, and it's like people are like telling us we got to come back, we got to do it again, and we feel that energy bouncing off of the crowd, and like and so yeah, like I think that it's like a continuous process. Every band that we see that has that it factor, we're always sort of openly analyzing, you know, what are some things from their show that we maybe can't do, or that are like sort of out of our range of things that we can do, but we can make up for it in this way or this way. It's like something we're always looking out for with every band that we see, you know.
There's
so it's like it's like an integrated part of how we analyze everything that it's hard to describe exactly the process. It's like, yeah, it's like just ongoing, you know. We're always looking for that star power, it factor. How can we bring that in? How can we do something that plays on our skills and our strengths that, you know, gets the same effect as that, you know, if that makes sense. Hope that was a good explanation.
Absolutely. And I like the you know, at the beginning, noting that there's that energy between y'all. It's like one of the great things about a true band unit is when someone hits the nail on the head for that moment, you can look at them and say, that again, that 1,000 times. If you don't do it tonight, then we were fucking something up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You
totally.
know, maybe that is what it is we constantly chase that, like, oh, this is the answer. Like, I'll tell you a story. We're in the middle of writing a new song right now, and we like can't figure out how to get from the bridge to the last chorus. And we tried all these things, and we're like, man, these are all cool and they're all fine, but like
we always say like 9 out of 10. It's 9 out of 10.
But like in the past, when, you know, when we're writing a song and it's like, and we decide it's done, it usually happens as a result of, oh, that's the thing, that's the part, or that's the, you know, the method that we needed to utilize to get into this last chorus, and that's how. And boom, okay, all right, now we're done. Let's go record, or whatever the circumstance is. But I think it's like chasing that.
That's the whole goal.
Chasing whatever gets you excited. You
yeah,
know?
It scratches an itch. It's like this, like, you know, when you hear, like, when I heard "Time" by Pink Floyd for the first time, it's like the same feeling. Like, I know it's hard to describe. Like when I understood what psychedelic music was for the first time, it scratched this itch. And where it was like, oh, this is something outside of ourselves that's bigger. You know? And it's that, I think it's that, it's like you said, it's that feeling that we are chasing every day. That's why we show up.
Well, it's a tough thing to reach for. And you know, after a certain amount of time and being in a band and always reaching for not 9 out of 10, not 9.5 out of 10, 11 out of 10, you know, like the feeling when I heard a Pink Floyd song for the first time, like a monolithic level of excitement. Chasing that can become a chore and start to become a deterrent from the thing. So what are some of the mechanisms that y'all keep in place to keep creative and keep lighthearted about these things, while also being like, we go straight, we go forward, we go straight every day to the best of our ability?
Great question.
I don't know. I think we are always most excited when we're either writing or recording. So I think like
doing everything we can. Well,
I don't know how to answer that. Do you have a better answer?
Say the question one more time. I'm sorry. Now I lost my train of thought.
Like, what's the process for remaining excited when you are chasing that?
Yes. So, man, that there's a lot that goes into this, and this is something. It's such a great thing that you say that, because it's so true, and it's even true. Like, even if you're 15 years old and you're starting a band, or 16 years old and you're starting a band, and you're a year in and you're going through these like mundane problems that you have to solve in order to get to where you want, which is like playing the show or doing the music or making the music. And it's like, I have always felt very connected and aware of that sort of ever looming presence of like, oh, real life wants to creep in here, and real feelings want to creep in, and negative feeling wants to creep in here. And I like made it a thing. I mean, I remember we had conversations when we were kids about like, hey guys, let's look ahead in the future. Let's plan for the fact that this is going to get difficult at times. This is going to get, we might have to loosen up our friendship, or we might have to tighten up our friendship, or we might have to do things in response to our environments. And we just have to keep an open mind and keep and be as positive as possible, and understand that we are going to get there. You know, it's just going to take trial and error. It's just like every difficult task in life and in the world that you can do, and everything that's worthwhile to do, takes that same level of resilience through the mundane bullshit of like, you know, the problems that you have to solve. And it's like, no matter what you choose to do in life, you're going to run into those things. And we just have to like, and us being really good friends and talking about this stuff, and like keeping a really open dialogue, and then also recognizing like personally where our faults are, like my faults and Garrett's faults and BB's faults. And we're all very aware of that. And, you know, we're conscious of it, and we make it a part of our humor to joke about that, and to bring it to light, and to never allow it to get to fester. That's the word. Never allowing those things to fester and like build up. And if they are, you know, talking about it and just making it, you know, making us all aware of it. It's like, I feel personally like that's sort of been a big role of mine in the band, is to try to always bring that back when I feel it's pulling away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know if you feel that too, but I've always felt an obligation, because I always knew that was a thing. Like when you know, when I was in a band, when I was 12, 13, 14, that was a thing. And I realized it. And it was like really, you know, it was like a big thing for me to take note of and look for in the future. And then when I met these guys and realized how great we were together, it was like, oh man, I need to get this across and have us all be on the same page about this. Yes, this is going to be hard. Yes, it might feel like it's not fun at times, but that's so that we can get to the fun part, you know. Like, it's something I always try to stress and try to bring back, you know, even today. I try to bring the positive aspects of thing in and talk about it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there was an element where you're talking about like loosening the friendship here, or tightening the conversation. Like,
yes,
it really rang true to me in a way where it's like, you know, if your elbow's bothering you, but your overall health is okay, can you stop focusing on the elbow for a couple minutes to get back to a place of feeling grateful for it? Like, y'all know the beautiful Devin Z. Brooks that is part of the Radio Artifact team. And Devin once gave me this amazing advice. He's like, sometimes when I'm having a problem, I reserve the right to stop having that problem for a little bit.
Totally.
And it's like, dude, the relief that I felt in that moment, just, you know, it's like, how long can I look for my keys before it's better for me just to go like, I think I'll just go wash the car, and then look, the keys were in your pocket, you piece of shit. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
But I think there's also an element too of like, when you talk about the mundane things and kind of the way that the mundane adds the excitement of all this is very bizarre. And Garrett, you can probably attest to this in a different way than other folks who don't do the editing or something like that, where you can spend 6 hours comping vocals. And sitting down on your kit has never felt better than when you just finish comping vocals for 6 hours, and now you just get to do the thing that feels natural. Or if you're doing merch inventory, or you're doing booking emails, it's like, if you don't fill your day with enough bitch work to feel grateful to do the thing, then doing the thing feels like bitch work.
That's right.
Oh, that's so true.
So true.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well said.
And it all comes back to like, this is like any other difficult task in life. It's starting a company. It's working in a company. It's working in a new environment with people. It's like everything that we deal with is a microcosm of things that everyone has to deal with in life, you know. And the creative process is no different than that, even though it can feel like it should be something that like I don't know, somehow supersedes like the natural order of things, or like, has some magic factor to it. It's just, it is a task, and it's a thing. Like, we're humans, we have to manage our human bodies and minds and friendships and relationships the same way you do in any other environment, and being conscientious of that is like super, super important in in a long-term project like this.
Absolutely. So what was the social media boom like on your end? Did it feel like it started to ramp up quickly? Did it feel like we grinded so long against this? Like what was that like to you?
We've had like random bumps of like we posted a video and ran it as an ad for like 2 weeks, and between the like organic reach and the little bit of money we spent on it, it was like we gained like 3,000 followers in like 2 weeks. It was like, holy shit. Yeah. And then it sat stagnant for like 6 months, and then another video did pretty well, and there's always been a little bit of like static growth, a couple a day or something like that. But that it kind of pluses and minuses, because you get unfollowers almost as often as you get followers, like as a band.
Like they take away, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't, like, it's really cool. It's kind of like,
I feel like, okay, personally, it's like I try to remember that every single new person that follows, sorry to interrupt, every new person that follows us, like, we have to try to remember that they're like a real person that like we are grateful for, and that like, and we have to like treat it that way. And it's hard. Like, that is sort of our whole, that's what's difficult about this, is like, how can we do that? How can we reach those individual people and like thank them and give them something that they, feel it's worth a follow for? Like, that's kind of where we're at right now, is like trying to figure out how can we bring these people in, and because it's so many people that you can't even really comprehend it, even at this level, even at this very modest level of followers, compared to like some other artists. It's way too many for a single human being to manage, all of that. And so,
what was the first bump? What was that first video?
We did this video where it was like, it's like 3 seconds long, and it says like, what did it say? It says like, if you follow us, we'll send you a voice memo.
Yep.
Okay, so
like 2,000.
yeah. So
dude, what a great day of bitch work,
Yeah, it was weeks. Many days of bitch work, because you do like 20, and then you're saying, it's like, you want to be. What we really tried to do was like go to their profile if it was public and look at something cool, like I was a big metalcore guy back in the day. A lot of people I'd see like, oh, they like a Pierce Surveil shirt on or some metalcore band. I'm like, oh, hey, I love that band. Like, that's so cool. Thanks for being here. Blah blah blah. Yeah. And you do like 20 of those, and then you run out of unique things to say. So you're like, okay, well, we'll stop for today and try again tomorrow. And you do 20 more, and it takes forever, but it's really rewarding.
You ever say anything you regret to a rando?
What's that?
You ever say anything you regret to a rando with a non-public just like a private, and you're just like, let's just swing and be like, listen here, you hot topic loving rubber band weirdo.
Yeah, right.
You came to us or we came to you, but either way, I'll meet you at the mall.
Yeah.
or it's too personal, like you're like, hey, I saw you and your mom at that restaurant the other day. How was that? Like,
I was at Red Robin watching you and your stepdad just put down a basket of fries, and I thought, it's a good-looking stepdad,
Exactly. Hell yeah. At least a couple of those have happened, yeah.
Wait, so after this has this big bump, you masochists decide to boost that post? You did that to yourself?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was brutal.
That's heinous.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
It's one thing when you're like
out there,
I think it did that exactly. And there's an odd thing about seeing success there and saying, well, this is a lot of bitch work for us, but let's boost that post and see. Had you had much success with paid pushes on social media before that?
No, not really.
No.
It was just like throwing money into a fire.
We didn't,
seriously.
It has to,
it is. It's awesome.
This is something that we've really spent a lot of time on in the last year, and that's learning how to work in tandem with advertising, so that it's not just pointless, and that it doesn't just, you can get 100,000 views on something, but if it doesn't lead them somewhere, if it doesn't teach them about you in some way, or give them some vital piece of information about why they should come and join, then it's it's just another video on people's feed, you know? And so how can we like make organic content that is great and that's really fun to watch? And like, if you just go to our page, you can just look at it and it's fun, but also, you know, while at the same time making content that's specifically geared towards advertising to newer people who have no idea who we are probably, or had never heard our music before, and then framing it in a way that is just as fun and you know, inclusive as our like normal unpromoted posts or unadvertised posts or whatever. And
what
like,
type?
sorry, no,
No, you're fine. What type of content did you stop making after going on this kind of analysis of what you were doing? Like, what baggage did you kind of shed in that versus what you do now?
We stopped prioritizing photos big time around that point, because like we kind of do it now. We try to work under this relative format of like 4 what we call like fodder posts and 1-to-1 like personality posts. And so what I mean by that is like a fodder post would be kind of like that, which is like you just kind of throw something out there, you slap your song over it, and you like, you know what I mean, come up with some funny thing, and like hopefully you can get like a handful of people to watch you get your music out there. It's sort of geared towards new people. And the personality posts are like, if you do a photo carousel, like a bunch of selfies, you know, stuff you've been doing recently, or like we made a Spotify for Wrapped like thank you video basically. And those are geared for like the people that are following you to like build that relationship and like try to enrich like everybody's lives and be like, yo, like we have like more important stuff to say sometimes than like silly like butt jokes and like and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's incredible when you see a band like yours like really doing this well, because social media was not the thing that any of us necessarily signed up for. It's a byproduct of it, but I really enjoy the personality that comes to the surface when it's the three of you making content together, making content separate. But I always see somebody's new face popping into that, and that everyone's kind of on board with it. You know, personally, one thing in my project is like it's a solo project, and I have a band, so no one really helps with that side of the content, which is okay. Right. But when you have 3 people pushing the ball uphill, it's like, well, now someone can take some relief while someone else gives 110, and the guy behind him is there for support. So there's a really inspiring handoff to be seen there. What's it like when someone brings these types of ideas that do probably feel like bitch work at sometimes? It's like, do you guys have to get hyped to go do these things, or like, no, it's part of the job?
I'd say like 60% of the time we're not excited. I think it really just depends on the video. I'm not gonna lie. Like, like that Spotify rap video we were really excited about, and like I think it just depends. A lot of like every time we do a show promotion, like a show announcement video or post, we're always really excited about that. I think it just kind of depends on like the content of itself.
That's the goal really right now, is like, well, how can we make content that we're really proud of, that we enjoy making, or at least the process of making it is worth the effort, you know, and worth the time to put in. And like, you know, our skills are getting a little bit better, the editing, the planning, the script writing. It's like, we're trying to grow those skills right now to try to make it, I think, so that we do enjoy it more than 50% of the time, you know what I mean? Like, so that it's not just doesn't feel like bitch work. It feels like, again, we're back to the creative, like it factor thing. Like, how can we capture that? And then when we feel like whenever we have a video that we feel like captures that, or, you know, brings that to the table, or just like, you know, offers it up in a way that people can consume it, then we get really excited about that content. So it's like, you know, yeah, I think that's basically, that's kind of like what determines it. And that's like what our goal is right now, is to try to increase that percentage.
Well, thank you for being so open about those things. I think for all of us, social media can be such a mystery of a parameter of success that it's kind of hard to quantify besides the literal numbers. But it's like, I remember, you know, a decade ago having one of those apps that would tell me who followed and who unfollowed. And again, I'm sitting at the mall just mean mugging people, just like, I know what you did, you know. Like, I'll never forgive you for this.
That's funny as hell.
But there's
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, dude, it was torture, you know. And I went to an all boy high school, so it's like, fuck that guy. No, it's like, you don't need that in your life.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, in the interest of honesty too, I mean, I am like, I have some like serious mental aversion to operating social media. Like, I mean, he's really he and BB really just, he is the one that is actually doing the button pushing on social media for the most part. I try to comment on people. I try to comment to people and like answer people's messages when I can. But like I think I have ADHD. And more than that, that's kind of probably undiagnosed. And like there's something like makes me very anxious when I get on and I see like 10 messages that are unopened. Like I freak out.
That gives me a visual of them strapping you to a chair, being like, all right, you're going to send voice memos to randos.
So I really try to really bring it when we're creating the videos. And like, I try to bring good energy to the room because I know that I'm not going to be contributing to the, the processing of the social media stuff. Like, as much as they do. Like, I'm just not capable of it. I don't.
But there's something really great in that too, where your willingness to participate while knowing your own version to it. It's like, I'd rather have friends that have done things they're not proud of and are currently doing better than folks that have never done the things they're not proud of, because I don't know what they're capable of. Okay,
That's
it's like, it's the folks who have improved in that way. It's really inspiring. I do want to ask though. It's like, so you spend this time making this type of content, and then we talk about, does there need to be more content from in the studio? Do you not, do you look at that as like a semblance of privacy? The writing process, the moments of inspiration, like this is for us just to be together rather than.
It's the opposite.
No, not really. We actually, all of us can like regularly dog on ourselves for not filming. But the problem is like, in a given session, it's like I'm playing engineer, I'm playing producer. It's like I'm also a musician sometimes, and like to then tack on the job of like photographer. And the same with both these sets. Like we're all running in these sessions as producers. We're all individually playing. If we're not individually playing, we're thinking, can this song be better? Was there something weird about that performance that maybe he didn't get, but I noticed? Or is there an idea? And it's like it's just so hard. It's so hard to do, but I don't think privacy has really ever.
No, I wish that everybody, I wish that everyone could. I wish all our followers could see every session. Like I really, like that would be
sounds like a risque live stream.
Yeah, right, dude. I mean, we rarely wear clothes. It's pretty awesome,
dude. Exactly. It's like when a nipple piercing gets taken into a hi-hat stand, you got to understand that there's more to lose than there is to gain. But kinks are kinks, and art is art. So you guys, go ahead.
Like I wish we had a full-time like red band for Joe Rogan or whatever, like just following us around and just like capturing like the cool moments, because like there's so many moments where like, man, I wish that we could turn that into some kind of content or story, or tell people the story of what happened. And we're trying to get that out. Also, like we're experimenting with in the marketing advertising aspect. We're experimenting with our email list to try to be more active with our email subscriber, people who sign up for our email list on our website. So we're trying to tell stories. We're telling like tour stories, and we're sending out these like bi-weekly emails where we're just sort of opening up about our whole history and where we're from, where we came from, where, what our name means, and, what our daily lives look like. And so that's been really fun. And Patreon is also like, I'm trying to get that up and running to try to maybe make that also a source of like the details and like filling people in on the details of what we're doing, and maybe just posting like unedited studio sessions would be like the goal ultimately for that. Like,
absolutely. And so y'all's touring in the last couple of years, is that mainly headliner kind of slots? Is that going to be more support slots, a combination of the two? How are you kind of routing that?
In the next year, or like in the past?
No, in the last couple of years.
Oh, a lot of it's just been like weekend warrior stuff. We either build bills out of town or are lucky enough to be put on with bigger bands, and it's almost always kind of support stuff. We've done a couple like go out for a few weeks and do that kind of thing. And when we did the one most recently, we went out with another band, and so like they're from Nebraska. They're called Jack, and they're freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool.
So we kind of did this thing where like they're from Nebraska, so they have a bunch of clock out there. So we kind of did like, what was it, like 2.5 weeks, I think. So we did like 10 days here on like this sort of seaboardish area, like Cleveland, Cincinnati, Nashville, these kind of towns around here, and we did the last 2 weeks out in like the Great Plains and Kansas and Oklahoma, and Nebraska, and that kind of thing.
Favorite city?
What was it? Lincoln, Nebraska. It's so sick.
Lincoln was cool.
Yeah, that was a super cool town.
Yeah, we'd go back there.
It felt very Clifton vibe. It is a college town. The football stadium is absurd. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Maybe short of like Michigan or something, but it's insane considering you're driving for hours with nothing.
And there's nothing. It's just flat.
It's just cool. There's like palpable excitement in the air, and like the show was awesome, and it's just this really cool town.
Nothing screams corn-fed like Lincoln, Nebraska. I mean, that really sounds like we got
an oasis.
Yeah,
nothing.
We're just building no linemen, and just someone's got to be a quarterback or running back. We're just making stocky young lads, you know.
Yeah,
totally. Well, Kentucky is pretty similar in that way, right?
You know what I'm saying? You get that Appalachian moonshine, then you find yourself dead in a ditch. You know, it's pretty good. Yeah, I just moved to that side of the river, and I gotta say, it's starting to affect my personality. There's just certain where I don't think you can open carry out there, nor do I have a gun. You know, it's like in Wayne's World. It's like, why would you get me a gun rack? I don't even own a gun.
Yeah,
you can put guitars on those things. We're gonna be fine.
There you go. Yeah.
There's a mind virus at Kentucky though, but.
Yeah, we are technically from Kentucky. We always say Cincinnati because it's just kind of easier to be like, oh, we're from Cincinnati. We're from the 275 loop, but truly, we all grew up in Kentucky.
No way.
Still technically live here. I mean, the river is like a tenth of a mile that way, but like, yeah.
Did y'all meet at NKU or where'd y'all meet?
We met in high school. Actually.
We were kids.
Yeah, we were like 16 years old when we met.
You were 15. I was 14.
Yeah, BB and I went to the same high school together, and BB knew Jack through like friends of a friend from our high school.
Yeah, and friends. I had a party. Actually, the way it was, I had a band. We broke up, and then I basically was like, I need to throw a party and find some new band members. So I threw a big party and invited everybody I could think of.
It was a honey trap for band members.
I mean, literally. I had this. So we had this. I was the party house kid. Like we have this big house. My parents are really cool, and they're always cool with hosting parties and stuff. So I invited 35 kids over, and then ended up being like 60 kids came over.
Oh my God.
Like, that whole house was full of kids. And I hear someone playing guitar in my basement. And I'm like, that sounds really good.
Trapped him right there. Just do a martial on.
And then he stuck some handcuffs on him, chained him to the wall, and the rest is history.
I literally hung
He's a good boy.
I put the guitar out on the couch. I set it out. I was like, somebody who plays guitar is going to want to grab that. Because I know what it's like to be 15 or 16 and, be at a party with a bunch of girls and there's a guitar on the wall, right?
I'll be honest, it sounds suspiciously familiar compared to that.
And BB was there. So BB was playing, and I was like, this kid is fucking awesome, and he rocks, and he's got improv. He knows all the scales. He's creative. And so I said, hey, man, would you be interested in joining a band? And he was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Nice.
He's like, absolutely. I've been waiting for someone to
And did you play guitar in the 5-piece version of the band? Okay, and then you moved to bass just kind of out of necessity?
Yep, pretty much.
The most fulfilling change of a lifetime?
I love it. I love the bass now. I love it. So, I mean, like, rhythm guitar was super fun because it's a little more casual, but I don't know. I love the bass now, especially with singing. I find that singing and playing bass just it's easier for me. I also was a piano player originally, so I just have a good rhythm section in my head going all the time, and so it was easy for me to adjust to the singing and playing the bass. And I even like the fact that it's one note at a time, so I can kind of do more complex stuff while still singing the song.
Yeah. So are you kind of the utility man of the band, or does everyone have a little bit of utilitarian, Garrett, you can pick up a guitar and do some more?
They're for sure more specialized than their instruments.
Everyone's got a thing. I mean, I can play piano. We all sing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jack's got chops. Jack can drum a little bit too. He admitted that part. But bass, he was kind of born for bass because he was a fine guitar player. And he was a pretty sweet drummer. And then, when bass came along, it was like a combo of all those things plus the piano influence. It was a perfect fit.
And it's more, and it's like it's in a natural like sort of way for me to sit outside of the main melody and still have some control and still have some influence over the vibe. And I don't know, it's just cool. It's really cool. It really grew on me. At first I was like, I don't want to play the bass. And then as I started learning about the history of bass guitar, and I started learning, studying the Beatles bass part, all my favorite bands, basically, I started examining the bass parts, and I'm like, man, this shit is fucking awesome. It's really cool.
It seems like most bass players have that feeling too, where they're like, they may go into it unwillingly, but then they're like, bass is the greatest instrument. Everyone else is a bitch. My input is everything, and like it is the merge between the melody and the groove. And to do that as a singer, like I love that all of y'all sing and you all have a little bit of that diversity too, because whenever I think about, my own development as a musician, you can spend a lifetime becoming a better and better guitar player, a better and better drummer. But until you try something else, it's hard to become a better musician when you're just focusing on your lane. It's like you get so sucked into what makes your instrument stand out and have that star power versus what makes the whole project do it. And for everyone to agree on like, oh, we need a keys part, but everyone can walk up and give a different idea of what that's going to be. It's like one guy just wants to hold the octave. Someone else wants to give some kind of movement underneath. For everyone to feel capable of stepping up to bat is an amazing thing, especially in a trio.
Totally. And BB played bass on the last record we recorded too. I mean, I was just not here. I was on my honeymoon with my wife. But so it's like, yeah, BB can always just get up there, play the bass, whatever. And we've all like that also has been a specifically planned part of our journey together is, hey, let's all like, I remember making it a point when we were kids, like, hey, we have to all sing eventually. Like we have to work towards all being able to sing. And like, that was a thing. And then we all agreed and we all sort of were like, yes, that has to happen. And then, so we cultivated over years and years and, you just get better after, practicing for so long.
Yeah.
But in the respect, like you kind of asked about an interesting question of like, do we have like specializations? And that is sort of a cool thing about us is that we all do have like our own special skills. And then we also have our own like personal skills that allow us to interact with each other's skills as well. Like, for example, like in the very beginning, when we first got together, these two hadn't really written very much, like in terms of like writing a song all the way through. And I had a lot of experience with that. Like I sort of identified as a songwriter primarily, and I still kind of do. I don't really identify as an instrumentalist as much as I do just a generalist sort of instrument player, but in the service of writing the song or in the service of creating the song. That's how I think of my musicianship. And then, and so I tried to like bring that to them and push them to do that. And while they push me to get better at my instrument, get better at guitar, go practice. And, BB's a guitar teacher, so he's constantly feeding me new drills and little things, things to try to improve me. And, like I always struggled with that aspect of like, I'm going to go home and practice right now and get better at my instrument. Whereas these guys are like super fucking dedicated to their instrument. BB is like a sick guitar player. Gary was in drumline, just studying studying really fucking hard to get really good at it. And, so I was always sort of jealous of that. And like, I made up for it in the respect of like, I'm going to bring the songwriting energy and try to teach them and try to, open it. But, once I started to teach them, then they just took over themselves, and now they're all their own bona fide songwriters.
Yeah,
and I like to think I've picked up a little bit of musical knowledge too.
and does the group tend to write within the DAW, or do you tend to write as a band and then translate into a recording interface?
No, we write as a band and then put it to metaphorical tape.
Yeah,
and that evolved over time. Like at one point when we first got together, I had a bunch of songs that I already had that I hadn't played. And so we ended up just playing sort of my songs at the beginning. And then, like I said, once we all started writing and contributing to the writing process, then it just naturally evolved into let's all just work on every song together,
Does it tend to be whoever wrote the song is singing the song? Or do you bring something to the table and say, I think this fits your voice?
It's like whatever sounds better.
It's really just, it just depends.
It's like we would just have to look honestly at it and go, what do we think actually sounds better? What's the vibe of this song? Whose voice fits this range better? Some songs we do, one we have unreleased right now, we did like a really cool, like almost perfect blend between me and BB's voice. And so like like when the register shifts up, you hear more of my voice. And then when the register shifts down, you hear more of his, because just the way our voices sit in those registers. So yeah, it's really just like each song is its own project, and our voices are just a mere instrument in service of the song, you know?
Yeah. What's your favorite lyric written by one of the other band members to sing?
Well,
Shit, I've never thought about that.
I mean, I think of them every day. I love BB's lyrics. Hard to think of a specific one.
Oh,
right
it's
now.
like that question, like, what's your favorite movie? And you forget all movies.
Yeah, and you're like, dude, every answer is gonna hurt somebody's feelings, so just go for it, you know.
We fell in love at Riverbend. At the Pink Motel. No, I mean that's not like profound or anything, but I just love it.
We all remember Riverbend hookups. We all saw what we saw.
What? Sorry, say that again.
We all saw Riverbend hookups. We know what was on the internet.
Oh yeah.
That was the greatest Twitter page to ever happen.
I saw
Or not so subtle sliding.
Quick little aside. I saw my preschool teacher making out with her girlfriend at Riverbend. Right.
That's awesome.
Pretty awesome.
That's like
Shout
it's like
out,
a Stacy's mom-esque concept where you're like, is this what intimacy truly is?
Yeah, right.
It was just a shock. It was like my whole childhood just shattered in that moment.
And, I was like, and then puberty hit like a brick wall. It was just like
my favorite lyric is one of Jack's. We wrote a song on White House 2 version 2. I don't exactly know what we call it, but the one that's available on streaming. It's a song called Broken, and in like the chorus, he says, "People feed their brains with weed and crushed up powder poppy seeds." Fucking love that line.
that kicks. That kicks hard.
So good. It's very powerful.
So does that exclusive George W. Heroin. No, never mind. My bad.
Yeah.
Some of that good stuff.
Yeah.
George H.W.
Oh, dude. Why does it give me the vision of the Chester Cheetah listening to the Rush?
Yeah.
Where he breaks the glass. Dude, where's the fuck? We're so blessed to have lived in the generation we did.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we're starting to kind of reach the end of my time for us. So is there anything that you'd like to promote as we wrap up here?
When is this coming out? We have a show on Friday.
No. I'll put it on YouTube right after this. I won't kick out clips till next week, but you can clip it up as much as you want.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Friday, February 27th, we are playing in Cincinnati at the Madison Live with our buds in Maintenance Bay, Dead Humor, and Diatra. It is Maintenance Bay's album release show, which is super freaking exciting.
Which we record, some of which was
recorded. Yeah. I did that whole record. Those guys are my homies. All these bands, these are all of our homies, and so we're super excited for them, and we're like really, really glad that we could get all these bands together at the same time and all this to work out. It's gonna be a great show.
What there's nothing better than going to a show where you know all the material. To know it that intimately, and there's a line between like, I can't wait to hear this song, and also like, I remember him fucking this part up. I wonder if it's gonna happen.
right.
It's like,
oh
here
man,
comes that
like,
sick fill that took 20
that
takes.
Vocal take that was 150 vocal takes.
I am the first call for a fill-in drummer. I'll tell you that. I've gotten that a couple times and have been able to do that for them, and it's fun. Yeah, their songs are dope. So it's a lot. It's fun material.
That's killer. Pre-sales on your website, traumaillinois.com.
Yes, you can find it on our website or at madisontheater.com.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Anything else?
No, man.
Stay glamorous.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You have a great day.
Yeah, this is awesome.
It was a joy to do it. Next time, let's get together. Stay glamorous. It's fucking fun. Is that on a t-shirt?
Almost. It's coming.
Yeah, we're coming.
Yeah, dude, that's top tier. All right. I'll see you, friends, at the Kenwood Mall, where I'll be following everyone that unfollows me into H&M. Thanks for watching, everybody. Much love. Peace.
Hell yeah. See
Peace
ya.
out.